Hey people, introduce 53 Katla and Purification Plant, blue team. Local Ghost is a Techmarine, starts off in ranged combat, puts out some good damage, can also support the structures and repair alongside Katla with a Lord General, fights in ranged combat, begins with a retinue of stormtroopers, can add to the retinue, giving him more abilities, very strong defense and support. And this is the Armageddon Steel Legion elite scheme. Rounding off the blue team here, Sgtsmith 501 is an Eversor assassin, a risk-reward brawler that fights in melee combat and explodes on death. Red team, a whole bunch of Eldar, first up Nurland with a Farseer, a support spellcaster that fights in melee combat, some powerful buffs and control abilities. Same Han elite scheme with the Fuzz. Alongside FURAX, the Dawn of War, with a Warlock, a melee spellcaster that can leap into combat, some powerful disruption and support, gets forced off there, probably got stomped if I had to guess. And Noisy rounds off the red team with a Warp Spider Exarch, a teleporting hero that fights in ranged combat, great for capping and harassing with some powerful control abilities. Needs to fight the west side 2v1, I think, right now. Nope, here comes FURAX's stuff. East side, Eversor versus the Farseer. Strike squad is up. We have some more stormtroopers on the way with those hotshot lasguns that fire in those nice concentrated bursts, unlike the guardsman's lasguns. Bit more steady with the damage. Farseer getting straight in there with her fleet of foot, gives her +3 speed but lowers the damage of units. Good special attack as well. Banshee's getting in now. Oh, here come Chem Cloud grenades from the Eversor. That's really bad news for the Banshees. Deal 35% less damage, but one of the most painful things for them is the melee skill reduced by 10. Melee skill governs, when it's compared to the enemy's melee skill, how often you do special attacks. And that's what wins melee fights, and those ladies got wrecked. They're going to in fact wipe, I think, here. Yep. They got wiped, and the strat squad did not drop a model. And 10 melee skill is a lot. You get like +1 melee skill per level, I think, and obviously melee units tend to have higher starting melee skill in the first place. Yeah, but that's really going to swing that fight. I expect Nurland's going to get more Banshees though, and just like, you know, pay more attention to supporting them with Spirit Stones or Armor of Fortune or both. Yep, more Banshees on the way for Nurland. Could just go like double Shuriken, double Dire Avengers to try and lock down the east side with suppression and grenades and stuff. But then Banshees will chop up the strat squad pretty nicely if they can just survive contact. Sentinel took a lot of damage but backs away. Couple of dead Banshees on the west side, and a shotgun blast for the face of the Warp Spider. Goes for improved targeters. 50% more range. 50% more range damage, sorry, and +7 range. Pretty nice upgrade for that guy. Devastators get some suppression going. Got Rangers up here for Noisy. Guardian weapon team for both FURAX and Nurland. Any more war gear we can see? Yep, Mastercrafted Bolter. See that every single game now. Medical Sergeant just came in for Katla, and there are the Spirit Stones on the way for Nurland. What is this? Warlock going for the VP. Chucks out the Destructor. Then jumps on in there. And eats a stomp. It's a little bit isolated from his own forces. And the Guardian Weapon team did not move at all. East side, a little bit of a standoff. Some grenades from the Stormtroopers. Don't see any Tomes of Titan or anything for the Strat Squad yet. Banshees have a mark. They do have a mark. Aspect of Strength. Farseer still with those Spirit Stones. She doesn't want to lead, I don't think, because she's going to take damage really quickly. Has to try and lead with the Banshees and then position himself for that Spiritual Rights heal. Dire Avengers getting very low for FURAX, but they do get away. Rangers now for Nurland. Assault Squad for Local Ghost. And there's some good old suppression. Well played, Katla. Got the Sentinel in around for the stomp. Didn't actually need it. Just needed to threaten it at the end. West side. Oh, Scouts wiped. Just from sheer range DPS, I think. From the Warp Spider. Oh, we have the Heavy Gauge Zed Spinner. Adds knockback. I thought this was changed to stun and not do knockback. Maybe I'm just misremembering things, because the knockback, the chain knockback, can cause problems. It can like block your retreat, which is not intended. I think it was maybe changed so that it doesn't knock back as often. Maybe that's the change. 434 to 473, 2-to-1 cap for the red Eldar team. The standoff on the east continues. Meanwhile, west side, Noisy is going to get 2v1'd here, I think. And the high-powered shot almost finishes off the Warp Spider. Needs to teleport away. Fights off the Lord General, who does reinforce those retinue members in the field. His default guys cost only requisition, but the more specialist fellas do cost power. But once you purchase them, you can repurchase them for cheaper if they go down, which is a nice bonus for him. Little bonus. We got tier 2s. And Noisy gets some late Banshees up here. From the look of Noisy's resources, he's maybe lost no models, or very few. Hasn't had to reinforce that much stuff. Maybe he hasn't built power either. Yeah, this is all FURAX's power here. Scouts taking ranger shots. There's a high-powered shot on those guys. 140 damage in a big old burst. Very useful, as you may expect. Destructor doing some good work there. These guys are going to drop a model, I think. Indeed they do. No grenades, though, to threaten them, really. And these guys got, wow, las-gunned up. Again, did not bring the guarding weapon team up to support. If they were in play, that might not have happened. Now, Warlock goes down on retreat. There's the assault squad for LOCALgHOST. Jump troops that disrupt units when they land. 25 DPS per model. And Noisy needs to be very careful. Banshee's backing away. Can the two of them do some work here? High-powered shot says no. And the stomp was threatened as well. Might be trying to set up some group teleport stuff. The Warp Spider. Sentinel gets the missile launcher for Katla. And Sgtsmith with a Rhino. With the pintle-mounted Storm Bolter by default, you can get a las cannon or a twin-linked heavy bolter. The las cannon in 293 Hotfix, the current version, now costs 15 power. Guardian weapon team are going for a Bright Lance. Strike squad get out of the Rhino and go for some kills. Here come the Banshees, though. Guide is up on them from the Farseer. Did some power melee kicking there. Those guys can reinforce off the Rhino, and here comes the Eversor. Actually gets inside the Rhino as well. Terminator Librarian does have a power melee weapon and Terminator armor, so you can't suppress that guy. What's going on over it? A hit on the power. Did some good work. Looks like double gens and the node. Warp Spider level 2 and is being suppressed by a LOCALgHOST Techmarine turret to cover this requisition point. Isn't that annoying for Noisy? Could just teleport in behind it and take it out, I suppose. And there's plenty of room to get around it. Look how low the Techmarine is. What is he up to? Goes down immediately on being sighted by the Warp Spider. Does really get great range with the improved targeters. Banshees lying in wait. Need to go after those assault marines. There we go. Double Banshees, in fact. They don't have them any aspects, though. Noisy gets the Falcon up. That's going to be great for the Banshees to support them in the field. And I think the red team are going to retake the west side. Meanwhile, east side is very blue. Eversor now has assault armor. Gives him a charge and some health regen. Not bad at all. I believe the charge is... I can't remember actually. Is it like sprint or is it like a directed charge? I believe it's a directed charge. Much like the Hive Tyrants one. It's not just a speed bonus. Wraith Lord up here for FURAX. The Falcon is up and red team really need to make this count. They need to push with this. Katla's gone straight to tier 3. Complete tier 2 skip and they need to punish them for that. Look how much damage that missile launcher did. Wow. Not sure why the Wraith Lord is backing off it. There's nothing here to threaten you really. I mean the crack missiles like that. But that's going to take a while to finish you off, Mr. Wraith Lord. I guess Noisy does have the west side. The Falcon is there to reinforce stuff and do some pretty decent anti-vehicle damage. Speaking of anti-vehicle damage, Wraith Lord gets some shots in and there's the las cannon. I think it's 75 rec, 15 power now. Purifier's on the way now for Sgtsmith. Could see Nurland respond with the Gravity Blade perhaps. Here comes the Warlock. Where's that Disruptor? There it is. Needs to get in there and do some disruption. Jumps in, only disrupts one model. Here comes the Wraith Lord. Warlock is doing some good work though. Made a big difference getting in there and tying things up. We have Melter Gun Lord General. Down goes the Sentinel. The Sentinel was pretty good for the Imperial Guard up to then. What is this thing? Oh, I think that was the Eversor's global ability where he asks a Vindicare to reveal all the units on the map. I believe that's what that was. Melter Bomb from the Assault Squad, but the Falcon should be okay. Plenty of Dire Avengers nearby to repair it as well. And the Razorback of Local Ghost, for some reason, not taking damage. This seems like a bug. There we go, it took some damage. Sometimes, I believe anti-vehicle weapons can actually try and hit the units inside of transports rather than the vehicle, which is why you see them sometimes not take damage from anti-vehicle weapons, which is unfortunate. Wraith Lord getting a bunch of repairs now. Leman Russ dropped in by Katla. That's why they went for that quick tier 3. Can it pay off? Definitely pushing up with the tank. And it's getting... How is it getting repaired here? Oh, from Local Ghost Global Repair. Blessing of the Omnissiah. Yeah, Wraith Lord needs to back the hell off here. We have a Bright Lance from FURAX, but they were a little bit hasty getting it in play there. Tier 3 for FURAX, Tier 3 for Nurland. We do have Warp Spiders with the Aspect on the way, and these guys got a buff, didn't they? I think the cooldown on their Haywire got reduced. Dark Creepers up here for Nurland. Anti-heavy infantry ranged unit, so they should do some good work here. What about the... Yep, Gravity Blade it is to combat the Purifiers, or to help combat the Purifiers. Those guys are a pretty nasty melee unit. Going for a power bash. Leman Russ sure is a hell of a long way forward here. Right Lance is going to start getting shots in, maybe. Oh, shoots at the Stormtroopers. And the Rhino did survive. There's the Ethereal Slash from the Warlock. They took out the Razorback of Local Ghost. And is that Techmarine still down there from when he pushed forward a bit too high? I think it is. Surprised they didn't revive him. Maybe they did revive him. They just went down again. The Commissar retinue member gives Katla this shield for the Lord General. Lots of repairs on the Falcon. They've handled that well so far. There's crack shot, look, on the Warp Spiders. Global ability of the Warp Spider. I believe it gives plus 30% range and a damage bonus as well. Pretty nice. Eversor mixing it up in there. And then runs off. Didn't see him use the Psychon, but maybe it was already used. Terminator Librarian, Dakota Kume Turnip. Banshee's struggling to make an impact in the late game now. There's the levitation field from the Gravity Blade. But does she die? She does die. It's just so fun to use. Just use it anyway if you're going to die. Another Leman Russ on the way for Katla. And another Razorback for Local Ghost. Falcon goes down. Got too close to the Leman Russ and the Rhino there. Banshee's going in. Both of them with the Aspect of Strength for Noisy. Did some good damage, but they couldn't take it all on alone. And they have to flee. And that was the... what's it called? Psychic Field from the Purifiers. 300 to 333 on the VPs. Missile launcher tactical marines here. Can they cap the west side? Warlock's gone mental with Providence. What's he going after exactly? Go after the Purifiers, dude. Chem Cloud grenades going in. The Warlock is going to be okay. And the Wraith Lord did survive. Feel like blue team have the upper hand big time with the double Leman Russes. They still have the Warp Spiders. Banshee's trying to isolate the strike squad here. Got some suppression. And they get away relatively clean. In fact, they didn't drop a model somehow. That's amazing. 2-1 cap for the blue team. The VP lead. Still for the Reds though. But they've got a lot of work to do here. 2 Leman Russes that have been used quite well so far. Not letting them get isolated. Big Tempest missile barrage thing from the Dark Creepers there. Is that what it's called? Have I completely made that name up? I might have. They might be going for the VP. I think it would make sense. Are they ever going to revive? There he goes. The Techmarine's up. Eversor Assassin still doesn't have a weapon, which makes me sad. Where's the weapon? We do have stabilizers for the Lord General. Farseer now has the rune armor. What is it again? Power melee damage and courage damage per every 0.5 seconds, in fact. Warp Spider now has the entangling web, which can help with those roaming purifiers, or just the Eversor himself. Eversor's only... oh wow, some scouts be dead. Local Ghost is down to 2 units on the field, in fact. So did lose both of the Razorbacks, I suppose. I don't see the remains of the other one. And I didn't notice it go down, but I'm sure Noisy got the Banshees in or something and took it out. Did the Purifiers leveled yet? Nope. Sgtsmith fighting on 2 sides. We've got some Stormtroopers with their Warrior Acolyte fella. Gives them the awesome Fanaticism ability. How the red team going to approach this? Maybe from multiple angles, it looks like. Noisy's trying to get in behind. Actually gets all the way up to this wreck point. And has double Banshees. Up goes a webway as well. That's crafty. Guardsman here building some cover from Katla. Fire Prism up for Nurland. And some more Dire Avengers to help support the Fire Prism with repairs. Bright Lancers getting shots in. They seem to rarely be shooting at the actual tanks though. Don't actually have upgrades for these Leman Russes, but Katla has 3 of them now. What can Noisy do? Oh, gets all the way to the power, you know. Gets all the generators down. But might need to very, very quickly run away. There we go. There's the running away. That was Sanctuary there from the Terminator Librarian. Really bad news for those Banshees. Lord General uses the big refractor field to get the cap here. I believe it's a 55% damage reduction. And you can squeeze 1 or 2 squads in there. A relay beacon from Local Ghost is up, allowing all this stuff to retreat back to that point and reinforce around it. It can be a death trap though. There's a Psychic Storm for the Tactical Marines. Oh man, and the Singularity almost wiped them out. If they weren't level 3, they would have been done for. Slightly lucky there, Local Ghost. And well played, Nurland. The cannon needs to run away. There we go. It was supposed to get its old firing visual effects back, but I'm not sure if it did. I don't think I've noticed it myself. Rhino's still around. Have any of the Leman Russes leveled? Yep, level 2 there. Local Ghost still has only 2 units on the field. Shimmer Orb up from Noisy to help facilitate the cap. Banshees can't do much with the Sanctuary there. Double the bubble. Yeah, Banshees got wrecked. They need to try and draw out that Sanctuary and then back away from it. But when they do that, they're going to get shot up. Here comes the Seer Council from FURAX. A heavy turret dropped in by Katla. There's an Eldritch. This could be really bad for this stuff. Did a massive amount of damage, but is there anything here to finish it off? The Fire Prism's there. Needs to target the Rhino or something. He's trying to take out this Leman Russ here. It's a really good Eldritch, but I'm not sure if it was done like at the right time. There we go. They took out one of the Leman Russes. The Rhino's being attacked by the Warlock. Couldn't quite finish it off though, and the Rhino gets away. Or does it? No, it doesn't. Fire Prism got it. Well played, red team. That was a really good hit on the blue team's vehicles. And look at their rosters now. 300 to 176. Yay, we have a weapon for the Eversor Assassin now. The Eviscerator Axe. Gives him kill zone. He basically marks an area and gets big buffs and debuffs enemies in it. I think it's 35% melee damage or something in the zone. So if he gets all of his buffs going at once, this guy can get insane. But that's a lot of investment on a single fight kind of thing. Look, they're all retreating back to the beacon. Nurland could maybe nuke here. But they didn't. Down goes the beacon. Terminator's called in by local ghost. They're going to take out the Bright Lance. Down it goes. Some awesome action here. Techmarine's going to die. Heavy turret is trying to take stuff out. Warp Spider's getting into melee range, so it can't shoot them. Actually has vehicle armor, this thing, though. So can they deal with it? The D-cannon's getting good shots in. But here come Purifiers. Get out of there. There we go. Noisy spotted them. Warp Spider's taking their time, as you can see, trying to deal with this. We have the Executioner upgrade. More of an anti-vehicle turret. Sorry, anti-infantry turret now. But can still damage vehicles. They just need to get closer. 261 to 166. The smoke has settled after a furious couple of minutes there. Saw the Eldritch. We saw the push against the vehicles, which took out 2 Leman Russes and a Rhino, I believe. Pretty awesome push. And they took out the beacon. FURAX looks like they lost a few units here and there. Nurland lost their fire prism. I'm not sure how it got jumped. Maybe it was the Terminators with their Cyclone missile launcher. We do have an Avatar of Cain on the field for FURAX, super unit for Eldar. Powerful combatant that can buff, passively buffs nearby allied units. Infantry specifically, I believe. Leman Russ is level 3 here for Katla. Land Raider Crusader on the way for Sgtsmith. Eversor is level 4. I want to see him throw the kill zone on those Seer Council and see how he does. In fact, we have 2 Seer Council around now. Here are FURAX's squad of Warlocks. Here we go. Oh, he's trying to throw his grenade there. But got disrupted. Disrupted again. And that is a big weakness of the Eversor. As far as I know, the only way you can stop knockback is with Friends On, which is a end game and expensive armor piece. I believe that's the only way you can stop it. We see the Vindicare off-map support marking all the enemy units here. Avatar fighting some Assault Marines. They get a Melter Bomb, but they might die on retreat here. Oh, he couldn't turn quickly enough. Couldn't quite... Oh, they got him. They still got him with range attacks. And down goes the Executioner turret. Seer Council barely surviving. A quick kinetic pulse keeps them safe from the Purifiers. Grenades going in. A little bit of friendly fire there. FURAX, be careful with your grenades. Still the Leman Russ persists but has no upgrade still. Local Ghost down to a single unit of Terminators. I think the red team done really well to get themselves back in. They were facing triple Leman Russes at one point. But the cardinal sin of keeping your vehicles very close together, especially against Eldar, really messed them up. Terminators being chased by Banshees, and these are level 3 Banshees. They will do a hell of a lot of damage to Terminators. Singularity, oh, it's a juicy one. Look at the bits. It's a lot of bits. Banshees still chasing. How have they not dropped to model yet? There we go. They get one. They're still going. And they got inside of the Land Raider Crusader. Pretty unlucky there, Noisy, to only get one model. Those guys were pretty low. Baneblade on the way for Katla. Land Raider Redeemer hits the field for Local Ghost. Can the blue team drag themselves back into this game with good usage of super units here? Avatar maybe should get back to base and heal up before the next big fight. 228 to 154. Eldar need to start harassing the natural VP with webways and stuff at the moment. Nurland needs to be on that down the east side. Using the speed. Can they cap this? These Rangers? Sorry, Seer Council. I guess not. Oh, time field into an Eldritch. Takes out a Leman Russ. Eldritch doing work in this game. And another one. Lots of damage to the Land Raider. Can they get on it though and finish it off? Another Fire Prism from Nurland. Here comes the Redeemer. This one allows you to retreat back to it, unlike the Crusader. Has shorter range weaponry, has these Flamestorm cannons instead of those Thunderstorm bolters or whatever they're called. Hurricane bolters, that's it. Decent little rocket run there from Katla. Stop the cap, I think, at least for now. Going after the Land Raider. Nurland almost has enough for another Eldritch Storm. And the 2 D cannons are doing good work here. This mark here is the D cannon firing, so they definitely don't have their old visual effect back. Could not get it working, I suppose. Something with turning it into a damage over time attack stopped the visual effect working for some reason, I guess. There's another singularity. Lord General getting wrecked, but gets away. What is this? Is that another singularity? It is. Oh man, friendly fire on the Banshees. Level 4 Banshees as well, they do get away. Not sure why it was placed there. Kicking off towards the middle. Here's the Baneblade from Katla. Definitely the roster advantage is with the red team, but the blue team have some big guns here. And Sgtsmith has a full roster of stuff. And here's the friend zone. Yeah, as you can see, there's suppression immunity, knockback immunity, and damage resistance. But it does drain his health. I think that's it on now. I believe that's it going. And the Sanctuary was up there as well. Eversor is very low and retreats back to the Land Raider of LOCALgHOST. Oh, which goes down. I think the Haywire Grenade and the D-Cannon shots got it, you know. It can be really hard to spot those D-Cannons getting shots on big units like that, because their little graphical effect is completely hidden by the Land Raider. And it doesn't look that impressive, but it's doing plasma cannon damage per second, I believe. So it will mess up a vehicle. They need to try and work on that effect a little bit. It needs to be a bit more prominent, I think. There it is again. Can be so hard to miss that. Singularity almost finishes off the Eversor. Now he's got the Cybernetic Enhancement. Increases energy regen and gives rapid reflex, which reduces the ability cooldowns and heals the Eversor. I believe it heals you for 10 health per second for 10 seconds. I believe it gives you 100 health back, from what I remember anyway. So it will completely negate the damage you take from Psychon. The default Psychon anyway. There is an armor you could get which lowers the damage that Psychon does to 50. 206 to 154. You know what? Blue team get the VP. And as I said, they have big guns here. Big old lumps of gun. Cycler missile launcher. Bad news for a fire prism, but backs away. Red team need to start. Here we go. Seer Council of Nurland going for the VP. They really need to do that stuff. Time field for the Terminators. And lots of DPS. And a Gravity Blade. And they can't retreat out of this to lower their damage. Or rather, lower the damage they take. And it completely splits them up, which messes up their teleport. Oh, I see here another Eldritch on the Baneblade. Again, doesn't look like there's much to follow it up, but they've done a decent job following up so far. Avatars in the back lines, facilitating the cap for the Seer Council here. They're going to lose it, but it might have been worth it to get that cap. There's a 2-to-1 for red. And FURAX does have tons of resources. Needs to spend them. Fire Prism up here for FURAX as well. Yeah, I wonder what they'll get. Don't think they quite have the population to get another Avatar. It's probably 21. And they only have 23 pop. Need to shoot one of their Dire Avengers to the head or something like a Commissar. Sanctuary there. Pretty good capping tool as you might expect. Psychon up for the Eversor Assassin. And Friends on. Seer Council dealing with him alongside the Warlock though. And down he goes. That was his explosion on death there. Warlock level 8. Done some good work. Level 4 purifies as well. Could do with a Falcon back there maybe to help them reinforce. But you know, you want the big guns usually when you're deep in tier 3 like this. 160 to 134 on the VP. Cycler missile launcher seems to completely miss the fire prism there. They are taking chunks of damage from the fire prism. D-Cannon's shot a little bit wayward there. 150 to 134. Blue team are getting the natural back, but red team Did get back onto this VP. It was good work. And they're starting to look strong again. Avatar for FURAX. Avatar now for Nurland. Couple of fire prisms. 4 D cannons. They're doing some... They're ready to kick some ass, these Eldar fellas. Have set themselves up well for this VP fight. Got the disruption for the Seer Council just jumping on you. Got the disruption from the Singularities. They've got Witchblade of Kurnus disruption. They've got the Farseer's Gravity Blade. They've got Shimmel Orb. You can shut down Terminators with Entangling Web. Or shut down their movement anyway. Here comes a very late game Librarian from LOCALgHOST. And he's going to die immediately, I think, maybe. Perhaps. One burst might do it from the Warp Spiders. Here comes the Warp Spider Exarch trying to do it. And the Warp Spiders again. And we get the awesome zip, zip, zip special attack, rather. Singular, I mean. There we go. Usually it's the Warp Spider Exarch doing that. But it was the Exarch of the Warp Spider squad. Slightly different Exarch. Seer Council again. They're going to go for this Eastern Route decap. Or are they going for a power bash here? Oh, maybe they're going for the power. 95 to 134. What is the blue team's plan? LOCALgHOST just can't seem to preserve their units at the moment. Everything dies pretty quickly aside from these Terminators so far. Red team looking very, very strong. Eldar powering through at the end. Here's an Avatar for Noisy. Did Nurland still get their Avatar? Yes, this is Nurland's Avatar right here. Look at these armies from the Eldar players. Beefy, beefy armies. And they're using their heroes really well. The Farseer has been awesome in the mid. Time field is amazing, as we know. Terminators are going for a rear armor cyclone missile launcher. Nope. They're going for some power fists. They did get the D-cannon, but they just used their teleports. So they're basically guaranteed dead right now. Desperation move from LOCALgHOST. I'm not sure if that was the way to use your desperation move, though. Should have used it for a decap, I think. LOCALgHOST now has 0 units on the field. Big retreat there for the Techmarine. Looks like the red team have this. There's the 3rd Avatar just hitting the field for Noisy. So hard for the blue team now to approach the VPs. With the fire prisms and the D-cannons in play. It's going to be so hard. Because remember, D-cannons will throw Terminators around. Warlock going absolutely mental. Got level 10 there. And a Singularity. Ouch. And this is another one, I think. Indeed it is. Kills the Lord General and an Eldritch. The power of the Eldar. Land Ready Crusader gets stunned, and here comes an Avatar to say hello with a Wailing Doom. Fire Prism's getting shots. Here comes another Avatar. And this guy is chasing the Baneblade, as are some Seer Council. 2 to 1 continues. Tactical Marines getting on the VP here from LOCALgHOST. They must have been dropped in somewhere. I don't see the drop pod. An Orbital here from LOCALgHOST. Or maybe it's from Sgtsmith. I think it's LOCALgHOST. Warp Spider goes to the revive. That might get him to level 9. Indeed it does. They got the decap, you know. They did get the decap. Down goes a Land Ready Crusader. Farseer chasing down the Leman Russ. I don't think I noticed how glowy her sword gets with the Gravity Blade. Avatar wants to kill a Leman Russ, to stab it through its big metal face. Can it catch it though? Yes it can, because here comes the Haywire. Not only catch it, but it can't even shoot back. Because Haywires are awesome. There you go. Big old stab to its Leman Russ ass. And down it goes. And they got blue team's natural, so they still have the 2 to 1. Gonna get a double, and this is gonna be game of fact. There is the concede from the blue team, and you can see why. Look at the Eldar at the end here. Powered through. There was like a 5 to 7 minute window where the blue team looked super strong, but it all started off with that Eldritch push in the mid where they took out 2 Leman Russes and a Rhino in quick succession. And after that, blue team kind of struggled to preserve their stuff, aside from Sgtsmith, who did well up until right at the end there. Level 7 Lord General, level 3 Techmarine did have the orbs at the end, but good luck getting close to any fire prisms or anything. Eversor level 6, level 7 Farseer had a Singing Spear at the end, level 10 Warlock, and a level 9 Warp Spider Exarch. Was a hell of a fun game. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.